When will the public be able to see the first finished Bering Catamaran?
Strange thing, we've sold the Cat 80, the biggest one, before we even draw it.
Is massive.
It's very massive.
Especially for a boat.
It's massive for the house. Yes, and generator, it's like working under your bed.
Water pump.
Water pump, like somebody. Rig, which will provide pretty much same comfort as a super yacht. All three exploration cats. Exploration means they can cross the ocean.
You mentioned something earlier regarding pricing.
Yes.
You want to say it? If you in the market for catamaran don't disregard Bering because you think they're too expensive because they're aluminum, they're not.
Hello guys, today we're going to introduce you our line of catamarans.
All three.
All three.
Because now there are three, it's like getting babies, like there's every week is a new baby.
Yes, and a strange thing, we've sold the Cat 80, the biggest one, before we even draw it. That's the first time in Bering history.
Look, when years ago, I don't know, I want to say it's probably 2 years ago when we started talking about catamarans, and actually we went together on a charter in the Bahamas. It was a short charter, but it was on a production catamaran, small size, 46 something. You know, I wanted to get you to experience, first of all, the Bahamas, because we really, really like it. Secondly, the multi-hull as a concept. And we did this charter together, and I think your wheels started turning. I can remember we had conversations in the evening, and your wheels started turning, and yeah, like I think you were pretty infected to go the catamaran route, even though you're building Explorer monohulls.
That's right, and the cats have advantage of, and I realize it. First of all, for Bahamas, shallow draft is vital. All three of them are shallow draft, as they should be.
Since you just bring that up, I still have to look at the cheat sheet as well. They're brand new models. I don't know all the numbers by heart yet.
Me too.
Maybe you know a couple more than I do, but I mean, look, the 60 is 4.3 feet.
Yes.
I mean, you can go almost everywhere.
And the 80 is 4.9.
So under 5 feet. But how does this? I'm looking. It's 131 tons displacement.
Yes.
And over 300 tons, gross tons of volume.
Yes.
And under 5 feet of draft.
That's the beauty of the cat.
That is incredible.
Yes.
That is really incredible. So, I mean, I know we love the exhumers. There are plenty of spots, plenty of anchorages, which are pretty shallow. Yes, you can go in on high tide with a more drafty boat, but being able to be under 5 feet with an 80-foot catamaran, it is technically a super yacht.
Yes.
By volume, for sure.
Volume, yes.
It's incredible.
And comfort there, and all the good properties of Bering, quietness, vibration-free.
Yeah.
But you can explore places you can easily take intracoastal. You can go Bahamas at night with no hesitation.
Oh, that's a good point,
you can explore a river in Europe.
Yeah.
So it gives you a lot of destinations which are not reachable by drafty Berings.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and another advantage, speed. With the same power cat going faster. So the 60 cat can keep up easily with 150-foot super yacht and go with the same cruise speed.
Speaking of long, buddy boating with a bigger yacht, of bigger Bering, for example, any long-range cruising, yes, you don't even have to struggle to keep up.
No, it's easy. For example, our 145 sweet spot is 11.22 knots.
Okay.
So the cruising speed of this yacht is 11.2, and so any of the cats can keep up.
Would be able to do it.
Yes. Yeah. Another good thing of the cat, you see, it's a big volume, and we can accommodate a lot of people. Even 60 can accommodate 6 staterooms. 2 of which could be a crew. So you can have 8 guests and 4 crew.
So perfect charter boat too.
It's a perfect, each of them a perfect charter boat. Just perfect. So lots of volume, crew is separate, lots of storage because all the middle part of the cat where the tunnel is, it's all storage. So you have a pretty much full length, 2-3 meters wide, depends on the model. Very deep space where you can organize everything.
So now, I know when I have conversations with potential clients and I bring up a catamaran, sometimes there's that stigma of, the belly slab. The belly slab with wind waves on the catamaran. Bering builds the 60, the 70, and the 80 with a very high freeboard.
Yes.
And also with a very high tunnel clearance.
Absolutely.
So
it's much higher than most of fiberglass cats.
Speaking of fiberglass, on top of all that, so first of all, it's comfortable with a regular amount of wind waves, let's say 3, 4, 5 feet, you will not experience belly slap.
No.
I mean, if you go in real heavy seas, at some point, of course, it's the nature of a catamaran, right? But you just mentioned, just quickly as a throwaway, compared to the fiberglass catamarans out in the market, all 3 are aluminum.
All 3 aluminum.
Full aluminum.
Including hardtop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's full aluminum. It's a metal boat with the same property. I mean, aluminum is almost as strong as steel.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit more, how to say, fragile. It's not stretching easily. However, structural strengths are there, and it's 2.6 times lighter than steel.
Okay. So that's where we get the speed.
Yes, because you see, the 60 cat, it's equal to Bering 72. Bering 72 is around 130 tons displacement, and the cat is 62 and a half.
62 and a half.
So it's a half.
Yeah.
So it's reason why we have a shallow draft. The boat is much lighter. And our cats also, they're not super wide. They narrower than most of cats in this size.
Well, if you just bring that up, for example, the 60 is 28.2 feet or 8.6 meters. So that's definitely narrower than some of the cats on the market, the production cats on the market.
Yeah, they're usually around 10 meters.
And some others are almost pretty much equal. I know like a couple of brands, which I'm not mentioning right now, but I know some which are the same width as well. But then when we jump up to the 80, we're over 35 foot wide.
Yes. And again, it's not the widest cat on the market.
But it is very wide.
It's lots of volume. If you compare, and we have this comparison, Bering 88 next to cat, and cat is 1 meter taller because we raised the floor of the lower deck, so your floor of the lower deck above the water line. So it's allow you to have
in the sponsons.
In the sponsons, it's allow you to have a panoramic pictures because you're standing up, pretty
above
high.
the water.
Yes, for example, on 88 and monohulls, the lower deck is about 1 meter underwater. So we're much lower profile.
So kind of waterline is your belly button, kind of.
Pretty much,
Almost,
yes, yes. So it's reason why the windows are not that tall.
Yeah.
So on a cat, we'll have 1 meter windows. It's basically a panoramic windows throughout the boat.
I was actually very surprised because I just saw the other day some of the latest renderings of the interior, and there were 1 or 2 pictures of the sponson, like I think it was a master and a galley with a galley down option, and the windows were massive to the point where I thought it's the wrong rendering. So I actually reached out to the marketing team and asked, is this a mistake? Is it maybe from one of the monohulls, one of the upper deck windows? She said, no, this is Bering BC80 catamaran, big windows in the hull because we're above water.
We high above water. I think that if I remember correctly, the main deck is 2.7 meters. 2.7, you're 2.7 meters above the water line.
That's pretty.
And the ceiling is 2.4.
Yeah.
220 down and 2.4 on the main level.
That's actually a really good point too. I had a bunch of conversations with clients which happen to be just tall. They're over 6 feet tall, 6 foot tall, and they're always asking me, what's the ceiling height? So with the cats, I mean, including the monohulls, we have a pretty high ceiling height.
All monohulls, yes. We had a customers over 2 meters tall.
Yeah.
And any model of Bering, nobody docking in.
Yeah.
So except the door.
Okay.
Jams, they're 2 meters. They're standard, like an apartment.
But including the catamarans, no problem with the ceiling height at all, if not even the other way around, because 2.4 is pretty tall.
But imagine when it's this salon is 8 meters wide.
Yeah.
Anything lower than that will
not
feel like
right.
you're in a dungeon. So it's a big windows. You have to have some air.
I went with you yesterday on a technical sea trial of one of the boats in the commissioning phase right now, which was the Bering 88, hull number 1. And that is a big boat.
Yes.
It is way bigger than most of the people imagine this boat until they finally see it in real life, which will happen soon because hull number 1 is in the water and getting the final commission phase. So now Bering 80 Cat will be way bigger than Bering 88.
Yes, the Bering 88 is about 235 gross tons, 235 gross tons, and Cat 80 is 300 gross tons. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Where are you going to build it?
The whole number 1 we're always going to build here. The whole number 1 of 60 is getting built here, but subsequent hulls we're going to build in Bulgaria. We equipped that shipyard specialized in aluminum. So majority of aluminum production will be done there.
Yeah.
But of course, hull number 1 is important to keep close to where we have all the engineering stuff, all the brain. And
so you can easier
adjust because hull number 1, it's always kind of like brainstorming.
Tell me about it.
100,000 little, tiny, big, small decisions on the way because it's hull number 1.
I cannot imagine.
Yep. So
no, I can absolutely relate. Bering 70. Why Bering 70? Because I know we started with a 60. Then we had a client interested in 80, so we put that on the fast track. Why filling the gap? Because of interest, or was it just a logical?
No, it's illogical because, like you can pretty much go price-wise by volume. So we have a big gap between 60 cat, which is in the vicinity of 4.5, 5 million, depends on the spec, and this cat, which is around 13. Give or take.
Plus.
So it's a big jump. It's almost 2.5 times more expensive. So, and the 70 will be exactly in the middle, and by gross tonnage, by displacement, it's exactly in the middle, and it's reflected in the price.
So 60 owner-operator boat?
60 and 70, I would say it's owner-operator boats.
Got it.
As well as good charter boats.
Yes. 80 owner-operator?
Would be a stretch. It's just too big. I mean, you can handle 2 people can dock it, 2 people can maneuver it, 2 people can run it.
Yeah.
So, but it's imagine it's a 300 square meters of exterior space and 240 square meters of interior space. So it's like a huge villa.
I just want to say, for me, I grew up in Germany, so we lived in a 100 square meter apartment at some point, which I can remember was in Berlin, and I felt that was a big apartment, at least for back then.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much anymore, but like just thinking 250 square meters, pretty much. I mean, almost 250 square meters is massive.
It's very massive,
especially for a boat.
It's massive for the house.
It's massive for a house.
3,000 square feet.
It's a big house. It's a big house. Yeah, for sure. And that's just interior space. Now you're adding another over 300 square meters. So usable space, we're talking 550 square meters on the 80.
Yes. Imagine to just upkeep it. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a big job.
Yeah.
I think owner will be enslaved by this boat if he would.
But to your point, when you said 2 capable people can maneuver all 3 models, I want to just, I actually have a good example for this, because yesterday when we did the sea trial on the 88 hole number 1, the captain used a wired remote control.
Yes,
Glendenning,
yes,
wired remote control. And I watched him because, Victoria was already saying, like, let's see how they dock. Because at some point it'll be us. We need to deal with this. Because 82 is very similar to 88, not as big, but similar in terms of equipment, right? And so with that Glendenning, it was really, really beautiful to watch, actually, because there was no yelling, there was no screaming, there was no hectic in any kind of way. Because the captain or whoever's driving the boat can go either all the way aft, all the way to the port side, all the way to the starboard side, and the same will be doable on the catamarans.
Absolutely.
And that's where you're saying, like, two capable people can dock it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I think the biggest thing is to upkeep, and it's a lot of machinery there. So it's same complex as any bearing, with redundant equipment, with everything, and maintenance, upkeeping, servicing.
Where you want the help,
keeping paperwork. I think it would be too much. It will overwhelm even experienced owner.
I think in US it's a lot of times that the owners want to operate themselves and maybe take some help on, like, a deckhand or they go from marina to marina to marina and then dock there, use and then take advantage of the local vendors.
Yes.
For washdowns, for polishing, for maintenance, service, and all this kind of stuff. So in that way, it's totally doable as owner operator, because then you don't have what you just said, the upkeep, the washdowns, and all this kind of stuff. Because if you wash an 80-foot catamaran down, it probably takes you a day and a half as one person, maybe 2 days.
Yeah, and depends on what condition. If you cross the ocean, it may take you a week.
Yeah. Charter-wise,
a lot of fleet, as you know, in Caribbean and also in Croatia and some places, even in Turkey, it's a big fleet of charter cats.
Yes.
They're all fiberglass. Most of them are bareboat charters.
Yeah, on the smaller.
On the smaller, and when you go over 50, they're crew charter. But again, they're production cats, and they set up as a purely recreational boat. So we set up our boat from the beginning as a rig, which will perform well in charter, just because of nature of the metal structure. Yeah, it's not flexing. It's very sturdy. So we put same system of interiors we use on Bering, box and box, and technology, but lighter materials.
So quiet cabins.
Very quiet cabins. We pay a lot of attention to noise and vibration, so we will implicate the same measures we do on Bering, and we expect that it's going to be a perfect charter rig, which will provide pretty much same comfort as a super yacht. Also, quiet cabin to cabin, because if it's anything like the monohulls, which you already said that it will be, from one cabin to another cabin, there's not much sound transferation either. You can have a conversation in this cabin, a conversation in this cabin. You're not going to hear what happens in the other cabin. You cannot hear, like at night, you can't hear if it's like somebody flushing the toilet or taking a shower, you can't hear a thing. Yeah. So we'll, and it's
which is not usual with production catamarans.
That's true, but the way we lay them out, that we have either corridor or some sort of void between the cabins. So we have one stairs and one sponson, and each side.
So you have the buffer.
So we got a buffer, and also from the engine room we have a head, which is like a void and second buffer. So, and the forward cabins, they're totally detached with their own staircase, which could be used as a pantry, as a storage, as a crew cabins, or additional cabins. We have 4, 5, and 6 cabins layout on 60 and 70, and they're identical layouts, it's just a bigger boat. So the rooms are bigger, but you can have same 4, 5, 6 rooms.
And that's, when you and I when we went to the Bahamas, for example, right? Like if the first person gets up and walks up on the deck, it's impossible to continue sleeping if you're sleeping down below, because this is what you hear when you're laying in bed.
Yes, and generator, it's like working under your bed.
Water pump,
like somebody wash their hands or something. And air conditioning, you cannot hide from this. It's blowing into your face, into your neck,
So it's extreme camping, kind of.
Yeah. You know what? I felt back then like I'm back in my younger days. I put a backpack and a tent, and I'm camping out. So we want to leave all the great features of the cat, but take away this, inconveniences. Just improve the quality of the craft and make it.
And I've spent 1 week on a fiberglass higher quality catamaran in the Bahamas. Was a 60-foot catamaran as well, and even there, it was not quiet. It was a little bit quieter than some of the lesser expensive catamarans, but it was still a fiberglass hull. It was still somebody walking on the deck. You can still hear the footsteps bumping on the deck. And I mean, I don't know how many days we spent together on 92 when we went to the Bahamas crossing. There was 3 days, 4 days, or 5 days or something in heavy seas.
Yes.
But it's mind-blowing and completely life-changing, this experience, when you're on a boat in heavy seas. First of all, you don't hear anybody walking on the deck, ever. I've never heard anybody.
No.
And there was crew walking. I mean, we were walking around. Yeah. And another thing is, we were in this heavy seas. And the boat was moving, like not much rolling, but like up and down movement, of course. And I was laying on the bed and sleeping, and I didn't hear any water sound at all. Nothing. Yep. Which normally on a production fiberglass vessel, any vessel, you're at anchor, and you can hear even the little wind waves hitting the hull.
Yes.
And I didn't hear anything on the Bering.
And you were in the forward. You were in the forward cabin.
Yeah, it was in the forward cabin.
Forward. It's where the impact plays.
So I'm extremely excited about the catamarans. Another thing I wanted to point out, you mentioned the speed, that we can get higher speeds than equivalent monohulls by length, of course. But also, I think we had this conversation earlier, you're offering even derated engine packages potential for the catamarans.
Yes.
If you don't want to reach like a high maximum speed.
Yes. I think the advantage of the cats, they're faster than monohulls.
Yes.
Although this all three exploration cats. Exploration means they can cross the ocean. The practical range is 3,000 miles plus, and for the Bering, for 80 cat, I think it's 4,000 plus. And here's some people like to have this little bit of edge and a speed. They want to outrun something. I don't know what, but outrun something. And we can even put like bigger engine if this request needs to be fulfilled. However, I think that 14 knots is a good maximum practical speed. And 10, 12 knots is a cruise speed. And this is achievable by derated engines. Same models of engine we have, but lesser power. We put not the high output. It still can be used 3,000 hours per year. However, it's a little bit more than we normally use.
But if you really wanted to, like you said, if you wanted to, let's say, circumnavigate the globe, and you said, like, look, I'm not interested in 15, 16 knots. I don't need it. I just want durability, long range, maximum 12 knot speed is perfect for me, 13 knots, whatever. I'm cruising at 9 knots usually, even with an 80.
Yes.
We can derate the engine horsepower and then obviously give you also more range because it's less fuel consumption.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I think that's something which is not really there on the market right now. It doesn't exist.
It's,
in my opinion.
I don't know about any production aluminum boats. Usually it's one-offs. Usually it's a bigger cats, over 30 meters. They're custom cats. I don't know any production cats.
Me neither.
In aluminum, and I think it's a different category of boats. It's so much different from fiberglass, same like Bering.
Yeah.
So you take an 80-foot fiberglass boat, compare it with Bering, it will be different.
Another thing, especially on the 80, which we haven't scratched on at all. I mean, when people look at the pictures and you see the images, you see the renderings, you'll see it looks very different than any other 80-foot catamaran which is out on the market right now. The Bering BC80 is actually a up and over design. Same like 82, 88.
Same profile. If you put like, we will show it during. We will show it during our conversation. We'll show comparison with 80, like profiles one above another. They're same breed. It's
which doesn't exist.
The same breed.
I don't think it exists in the market space at all right now. I don't think there's an 80-foot catamaran which has that up and over design.
Yeah. I didn't see it. Okay, and Bering 80, we don't have a flybridge option.
Yeah.
We can have up to 90 square meters of solar panels, which produce, in a good day, produce up to 27 kW.
Which is a lot.
It's a lot. It can handle the hotel load.
Yeah.
And also we have a peak shaving system where we have a big battery bank, so battery bank is a buffer.
Yeah.
And if we need more power than solar provide, the two generators simultaneously will start up and fill up the battery bank.
And you do have lots of storage on the Bering 80. I mean, I know because I've seen some of the plans, like you mentioned earlier, but on the 80, it's on the 60 and on the 70 as well. On the 80, it is mind-blowing how much storage is
in the middle part.
Underneath the main floorboards.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
And we already calculated we can put the battery bank up to 500 kilowatt hours.
That's a lot.
Same like on 145. It will give plenty of power for maybe a few days on a...
Speaking of storage, since you mentioned that on the 80, for example, the floorboards of the sponsons are above waterline, that means I have a lot of space in the sponsons still, or is it all tanks?
No, it's not all tanks. Actually, tanks are smaller than on monohulls. Our 60, we have 13.5 thousand liters, and it's occupy a very small part of the sponson.
So do I still have storage capability?
We have a lot of storage underneath.
Potential deep freezer or dry storage. We can put some shelving, for example, for like long...
It's not that deep because, it's shallow draft. It's probably like 1.5 meters.
But almost like a crawl space?
Yeah, it's a crawl space. Yes, we have it. But I think it's such a convenient, this middle part with the big oversized hatches.
That's easier.
Easy opening with the stairs. You can have a lot there.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and the 80 cat packing 32.
Well, that's a lot.
1,000 liters. It's a lot, but still the fuel tanks are relatively small and they occupy a small space.
You have two halls, huh? That makes it a little bit easier.
Yes.
That was another thing when I looked at the way the engine rooms and the engine room access is set up. It's not like just a hatch which opens up, and when if it's raining, you get all the water in and all this kind of stuff. You actually have real separate accesses to the engine room, staircases.
Yes, staircases.
Pretty much.
And it's it's not a hedge. It's a sliding hatch.
Like a door.
Like a door.
Yeah.
So you're pretty much walking in. And also on all three, the engines room are 2-story. The engine is down below, keeping the same like close to zero angle shaft. So we have protective skegs.
Exactly.
For the props. I mean, we keep the same properties as a Bering employee for exploration purposes.
So our rudders are also hold on the bottom and on the top?
No, we have a skeg protecting the rudder is attached to one point.
I see.
However, skeg is going lower than prop by about that much.
Okay.
So the skeg will plow whatever or it gets stuck before the prop touching everything. And like on our bearings, the shafts are not exposed.
I see.
So you cannot bend the shaft. I mean, you may bend the prop, but you cannot bend the shaft.
Are the cats able to potentially at low tide touch Sand?
Yes.
Same like most
Same
of the
like-
production cats?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's, yes, sometimes you miscalculate and maybe you're a little shallow at low tide. What
And,
else?
you know, come back to the beginning of the conversation.
Yes.
Cats, like
Yes.
how we come up with cats. It was up in the air. We building Bering Marine.
You're building
They're
cats,
cats.
just different cats.
And we come up and we got 2 orders now for 46 footers. And from 46 footer, actually we come up with the 50-foot model. We keep calling it 46, probably will be corrected soon.
Yeah.
However, this is already like almost the size of the 60 cat. But the nature of these cats are totally different. They are full aluminum too, but they're going 50 knots.
Oh,
Yes. I mean, same like they're hydrofoil cats, but they're already grew in size, and we're now building one 50-foot
and
foiling cat.
and sometimes, you know, when you mentioned it earlier, it's like, why would you need 19 nuts? I'm just thinking of the Florida application, for example, where people want to quickly go over the Gulf Stream, and then they start relaxing and go slow. So that would be a good application for that, actually. Very, very great application.
Bering Marine is like different. You can cruise at 35 knots. You can go slow on this. It's another creature.
Yeah.
So if you want to go fast, why you put up with 20 knots? Go 35, go 40, go really fast. And you can be in Bimini in
no time.
1 hour.
Yeah, 1 hour. Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you are not comfortable of crossing slowly. So it's a good combination, and actually what is good about cats, they can accommodate much bigger dinghies because of the beam.
Yeah.
So, and we will take this advantage. Bering 80 can accommodate 6.5 meter dinghy.
Oh, that's really comfortable.
A good one. Yeah.
And that you on top.
On top. And we can also
proper
put
crane.
on a swim platform, a smaller dinghy, because the old swim platform are going up. And we don't have a chance to get this dinghy flooded.
Or toy, like a jet ski or something.
Jet ski, smaller dinghy, second dinghy, and it could be operated with the same crane. So you can put dinghy on, if it's like bad weather and you're afraid to lift it high because you're swinging, so you put it on a swim platform, which is like half a meter from the sea level. So it's also advantage of the cat. You can really accommodate bigger dinghy and dinghy on a swim platform is okay, because for Bering we not recommend permanently keep anything on the swim platform, because in the following sea it's gonna get flooded and your dinghy will be submerged by 2 meters of water. Possibility of this. So, and destroyed. On the cats we can elevate the platform and dinghy will be safe.
Which is fantastic. And what I saw on hole number 1 of the 60 in the shed, we're in the free zone here in Antalya, in the shed where it's getting built, it's still upside down.
Yep.
I actually can't wait until it's upright, because
Next
I'd like to step foot on it, and I'm missing it by about a week or 10 days roughly. Sadly.
That's right. When I come back from Cannes, I will be
tease-
okay. I'm
in.
waiting for this.
rub it in. But it's upside down still, and I can see already, because of the high freeboard, it looks to me like, and I might be wrong, but correct me if I am, that there are 2 access doors or access hatches kind of on the stern.
Yes.
Where it looks like it is some lazarette space or some storage space.
Yeah, it's a big storage space. It's 1 meter deep,
Yeah.
1.2 meter tall, and it's 4 something meters wide. So this is your lazarette. You can install big size, like semi-commercial compressor there. All your tanks,
Of your charter operation.
fishing rods,
The
sea
inflatable
boats,
stuff.
inflatables, all there, and it's accessible from the swim platform. You open up the hatches, and it's all at your chest height. So
and that is something other production catamarans don't offer, as far as I know. At least I haven't seen it.
I didn't see it. Sometimes it's just a very shallow garage for dinghy that flat.
Correct.
So
And storage space on catamarans was always a problem. I mean, lazarette space for toys, for water, all the stuff we just mentioned, wetsuits. I mean, you have stuff which you don't want to put in the engine room.
Yes.
You don't have space anywhere else. If you're in the cockpit already and you put it on the floorboard, it doesn't get ventilated that great. It's usually stuffed in there, it starts molding. So having a catamaran which actually offers you that kind of storage space is unique.
Yeah, I think also if you will, let's say on model of 60 or 70, if you will choose 4 staterooms, forward you have very large space for pantry, for if you really in exploration mode, not charter mode, it makes sense to, and you're an operator, you can have a 2 giant, laundry facility, proper pantry, fridge, freezers, walk-in freezer, whatever you would like to put there. It's too good.
Real washing machine, real dryer, not a combo unit.
Yes,
So
yes.
Like at home, like you would have at home.
Yeah.
Do we offer galley down options on the models?
Yes, we offer on 80. We have option for galley down or galley on the main deck.
Yes.
For the 60, I don't think if it's practical modification because it's laid out so well as it is. So unless, and it's almost not practical to put a master stateroom on the main deck because you're gonna ruin it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the beautiful thing about a catamaran, at least that size range, 60, 70, is to have that 360 panoramic view.
Yes, that's exactly what we're keeping. It's a lot of glass around, and you're on one level with all your dining, indoor dining, outdoor dining. Here's your galley, here's your bar, here's your settee, TV, and you can control the cat. You can choose main helm up or main helm down. And if you main helm up with enclosed or open fly, you can have all the controls. You can just simply open up the little,
like a secondary?
Secondary, and you control from there.
Yeah. All 3 cats, even though this is an up and over, but all 3 cats still have the door to the bow, right?
Yes.
So that's because it seems like very desired on the market or for the clients. They're always asking for it. Can I go forward? Does it have a forward door? Yes, they all 3 have it.
All 3, but the 70 and 60, it's same level.
Yep.
You just open the door and you walk in to
On the
forward.
main deck.
And on the 80, the forward deck is another level up.
Yep.
So you're going up, but it's also access forward.
Imagine the view from up there when you're on the way.
Oh, you're so high up.
Well, one thing I wanted to mention quick, all 3 cats have, I call them negative windows, but they're raked forward windows. And I think that is a super important point to bring up for the reason of all the catamarans I've ever been on, the air conditions always struggled in the salon. Yeah. No matter how big the air condition was during the day, by peak hours, especially on the larger cats, when you have these massive windows, and yes, you can put sunshade outside and all this kind of stuff, but it was always a problem keeping them cool. And that's the reason I wanted to mention that all Bering cats have the negative or forward raked windows, which will definitely help keeping the boat cool.
And it's also better visibility, much better visibility.
And besides, it looks a lot cooler too.
Yes. So.
You mentioned something earlier regarding pricing.
Yes.
You want to say it?
Yes, I think a lot of...
no.
I think, people have maybe opinion that steel or aluminum boats, they're more expensive. And yes,
they usually are.
They usually are. They usually are because it's especially the way we build them. However, all these 3 models in very competitive pricing with fiberglass boats. So we study and analyze the pricing in this industry because it was new for us. And then when we calculated the models, we realized that we are within a market range. And I wouldn't say we're most expensive. We're somewhere in the middle, but we're totally different.
But quality-wise and construction-wise, very different.
The nature of the material is predispose this boat to stand alone.
Yeah.
And then the techniques we're using for noise suppression, vibration suppression, insulation materials, we accommodate the same techniques we use in Bering. So we want to bring all these three cats quality-wise. If you charter it, it's same like super yacht. You're not downgrade yourself by chartering cat versus monohull.
Last question. When will the public be able to see the first finished Bering catamaran? Approximately.
Approximately 1 year from now.
1 year from now. Okay.
Yes.
That's not too long.
Not too long. And especially we starting 2 hulls in Bulgaria this month. So after the counts, we will lay in 2 hulls in Bulgaria, and we have special equipment for aluminum, special laser. It's sort of new technology. It's very good welding with laser welding machines, and we have dedicated crew which specialized on aluminum only. And also we come up with a new cutting. We're cutting the aluminum in Holland, pre-bending them, and it's bevel cutting. We assemble it very quick, and it's very smooth because laser don't give this temperature distortions which you need to correct after that. And it's all like a Lego. It's going to be assembled and we anticipate that we can build a hull in about 4.5 months.
Just the hull?
Hull and superstructure.
Without build out, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, otherwise 4 or 5 months would be very fast, I think.
Yes. No, theoretically
but
you
even
can...
that is fast,
Yeah.
4 or 5 months. And
we will see how much fairing job it will need, because it's supposed to be smooth, not like normal aluminum or steel work.
Yeah.
And we will see, maybe we could go with a partial fairing and keep perfect surface.
Okay.
Because fairing is another lengthy process besides the interiors, which takes time, and you can jump. It's like
and more weight too.
And it's weight.
Yeah.
Cats are weight sensitive. We want to watch the weight very well.
Got it.
So, I guess we cover a lot of grounds, and we will be happy to answering all questions. And
well, also all 3 catamarans are on the website now.
yes,
So anybody interested can check out the website. The details changing almost weekly on the brand new models, because we're still
we
final
still
phase
have
of development, right?
We just come up and we just uploaded it on the website, and it will be new updates. We working with the renders, with interior renders, with boats under construction. So and we will post more and more materials. So keep on watching the site, because it's going to be new information on a daily basis. So we will update on all 3 models.
Fantastic.